Okay, zombies on Vancouver streets. What up, everybody? We're back on the Punjabi Pulse, episode 2, I guess, with Punjabi Pulse. Yeah. With Kenny B here, Dr. Sandhu. Art for us is Kenny. For me, yeah.
Sumis is Kate.
It's Kenny. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We've had a video that we thought maybe would you get in this step. And you're the expert, so we're going to talk to you about it. Before I start, thank you everybody that's been hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you keep doing so. It's going to come up right up here. Keep hitting that button. Yep, we're killing it, so let's just keep going. All right, D, let's start with this.
Sure.
Oh, the video's title is Zombies on Vancouver Streets.
It's interesting. They're calling it. They're saying Vancouver is the third worst city for drugs in North America. That's crazy.
I wonder what
I wonder why. I think San Francisco. Yeah.
Will that be the video?
I feel like that video reminds me of footage I've seen of what addicts are like in San Francisco, like old streets, like just homeless in most cases, and then just high,
San
Francisco's bad, and I think what's interesting with this video is, they're calling them zombies, which is a really interesting term because if you think about what they're using, right, a combination of something like meth, which gets people high and awake, right? Why do we use meth and cocaine? Stimulants, right?
Yeah.
To stay awake, typically, or to weight neutral, maintain your weight, right? Because they increase your metabolism. But these guys are just like laying there and they're dead, passed out. So there's probably a combination of, the stimulant high and then the crash, or a combination of using opiates with it, right? So heroin, probably fentanyl for sure, right? Carfentanil. So this, again, I think really speaks to what I haven't actually been downtown a lot here in Winnipeg, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see a similar scene in Winnipeg, right?
Yeah.
Like we talked about once in a couple of videos ago, the Winnipeg Drug Alert, where we sort of alert people as to what the new street drugs are, so people can understand how laced these things are, right? So a lot of the time, even in this video, I'm sure people are taking stuff and they think they're taking one thing, but yet it's another thing, right?
Is there anything like that where there's like an alert that gets sent out to the general population about?
There's lots of different ways to get alerts out. Like we send a lot of patients to Main Street Project, MSP.
Yeah. I've actually been there looking for somebody.
Yes, yeah. Right, yeah. So if you drive down Main Street and just like to the right, if you're coming from our split from the south, you'll see a similar scene to that, just outside of SP, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting, if we talk about Main Street Project, they offer a lot of, we transport patients there and we transport them from Main Street Project to the pharmacy to get their doses. It's a very, very supportive program, but yet it's one of how many? We don't have a lot of that kind of stuff. And that actually reminds me, Winnipeg's been talking about, I think this past summer, we talked about a safe injection site.
Yeah.
We're one of the few provinces left that doesn't have a safe injection site.
But is it helping?
Well, so the question is, we don't have a safe injection site yet. They're due to bring it out, I think, this coming year.
Look at this video. Look at BC. Giving people that access to having that safe injection site, isn't that just enticing it a little bit more? No, we're into this again. What is it doing?
So theoretically, if you look at safe injection sites, the sort of idea behind it is you have people safely. So first of all, what you do when you use a safe, clean needle, reduce the risk of blood-borne infections, right? So HIV, hepatitis, all that. So that's one reason to have safe injection sites is your needle's clean. right? The other thing is controlled dosing, right? So again, theoretically, ideally, when you go into a safe injection site, if you've ever seen them, it's like cubicles, right? Like you just literally go in, you have your needle, you get your supply, and do your thing. So if you get what you need from there, then you're not going to go to the streets, right? So I think the theory behind it is you're offering people access to something so they're not going to the street. Because on the street, you don't know what you're getting, right? So these injection sites offer people a clarity as to what they're getting and a safe deal. That's the first two things, right? And it offers them the third most important thing, which actually is probably first too, is their life back, right? So when I remember a case where a woman had, like, she would go in, get her injection, and go to work, right? If you go on the street and buy XYZ drugs, and then you're a zombie, you can't go to work, you can't take care of your kids, you can't function.
Did she go to a self-injection site?
Yeah, and then she would just go about her day. So there's a...
Her drug was she taking that it was just okay for her to know, right?
Well, I mean, some people they get their heroin there, they'll get their whatever, right? Like a lot of the time...
Can you taste enough of the drug, just enough to get that fixed, but still operate?
It'll operate, yes. You cover your receptors, but maybe there's a component of high, but you're not like sedated to the point where you can't function, like in that video.
So it helps helps them on some pain that they have, or
sure, pain
addiction,
or the addiction itself, right? It just covers that part of you that it's like a workout, right? Can you overwork out, kind of, right? Isn't there a balance? Like, can you have too much coffee and then you kind of get a little jittery, right? So where's the balance when you drink your coffee, right? Same idea with these safe injection sets. You're giving them enough of a dose so that they have function. And then maybe over time, there's a way to reduce the dose so that you can start coming off of your drug of choice. But again, I think, I don't know, as an addictions provider, for us, safe injection sites are a good thing. That's the controversy, right? Is it good or is it not? Like you just said. If they have safe injection sites, then why are we seeing XYZ, right?
Is it an increase in people using now, or just because it's so much more accessible?
I think there's probably more people using in an inappropriate way and more people getting addicted versus saying the safe injection sites aren't working, you know? I don't think we can say basically that they're not working, right? I think if you look at the rates of infection, especially with dirty needles, you'll see that those have probably, in that sense, come down, right? So I think, Manitoba was behind. I'll say it for sure. Winnipeg and the province itself, we've lagged on every front in terms of addiction services. I think really struggled to get people. Vancouver's way ahead of the game now. Of course, Vancouver has much more population, more people. So
what could we do here for that? Like, what could they do?
There's a lot of different things. I feel like the government needs I wish we had more funding, period, right?
The government has money, though.
Oh, but remember we were watching Variable? Was it Variable? We were watching the Jets game.
Oh, right.
Stado.
Yeah.
And there's a facility here. I didn't know about this. Did you know about this?
Something Oak Center. Have you heard
the free addictions?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's free addiction. I think he lost his son to addiction.
Is it his?
It's his. It's him. Well, he started it, and then I think he came up with the provincial and federal government because he's actually from Manitoba.
He's from Manitoba, yeah.
He was CBC.
His was name, yeah.
Yeah. Realize it's named after his son.
And it's free.
Yeah, I don't know where that center is actually, but that's a new one. That's
a newer one. The problem is they're free, but you have so many people trying to access free services that they don't get in, right?
And it's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming.
It was about, and they made almost like 15 of these places.
Yeah, it's theater was. It's about 20 grand, 50 to 20 grand a month. Aurora, in Gimli.
Yep.
Yeah. But then can you imagine, like, even someone who's struggling? Most addiction patients financially struggle, right? That might be just overgeneralization, but then you're asking them to pay another 15 to 20 grand a month to get them. How would I, right?
That's a private thing.
That's a private clinic.
Yeah. The Oaks, the Mark Center is in private. I think is it a private?
No, that was probably has provisional funds on it,
yeah.
Because it's offered for free to patients, right, from Manitoba Health.
I think at the end of the government doesn't. They just have these like 3 or 4 places where they just like can funnel people to, but it's not like a proper solution.
No,
right?
no.
They throw so much money away to what most garbage things, man, federally too. Yeah.
Look at our addictions unit. Like, we have our addictions unit at Health Sciences Center. We have 12 beds.
What is that? That's nothing.
Yeah, that's what we have.
That's nothing.
That's it.
12 beds.
Where
is that in? That's at HSC.
Tell you that's.
Yeah, HSC has 12 beds for addictions.
Like, And we don't have more of those youth. Right?
12 people.
Yeah.
You know, I also wonder about like dialysis. Like, why is dialysis like all over the place? You know,
Like, what do you mean? Oh,
like they're all
Victoria.
yeah. Like they don't. Why don't they just have like one facility just built for that?
they do that. They didn't say PF.
They have a floor at different. They have in the health sciences. They be like it's not one hospital. Like he said, have it at one place, right? They don't have it like
I
that.
wish people would just start fixing their lifestyle, and we would just, I'm sorry, like, I think some people have those chronic, like, issues where they kind of go down the path to getting dialysis. Some people just screw up their own body. It's just like, diabetes, and you just keep going down that.
I think if you think about this whole picture, I mean, separate from dialysis and diabetes, I think the bigger picture is what we don't have here is the proper funding. We don't give funding to addiction resources. We just don't. And I think that's the big picture.
And if you do get it, it's like the small little here and there
In there.
makes zero actually change.
So like, why can't we get docs doing addiction medicine more, from my perspective? Like family docs wanting to do addiction medicine, because back when I started in like 2015, 16, we didn't even have funding to properly pay us.
Right.
So you're going to have a doc go into the hospital and come out 6 hours later having made very little money. That doesn't work, right? It just doesn't work. So now last October, can you imagine? Last October, and I've been here 10 years, and we finally got like TERX, like specific addiction coding. Like
To bill.
Yeah, to bill. Like 9 years.
That's
It's crazy. I think that's an emphasis that we can't place enough emphasis on what addiction resources this province see.
And how many addiction docs are there in this city, I guess?
And I probably can't have, provincially, I probably could give you a number. My team is probably 19 or 20 people. I could be underestimated now because we've got a lot of people added on since I was on the...
Physicians.
Yeah, dogs, yeah. And then we have 2 PAs, 2 or 3, yeah.
Going back to the Vancouver video, because you see it all over, right? Vancouver is one of the higher ones, but coming back to Winnipeg, we see a lot of it. I wonder what the first 2 cities are. Like, is it Canada-wide? Is it those?
No, it's not North America. So I guarantee you one of them has to be San Francisco. We should look it up.
And what happens in that city? When they're like hanging out, do they just wait it out?
Yeah.
Do people...
I mean, there are let's say overdose that are like dying and then they'll call an ambulance, right? If somebody gets to them in time and he's like, oh, this person is a 30 pulse or doesn't have a pulse. But again, how many people on the street are you going to go check? Right? So it's sad. I mean, I'm sure your overdose death rate is just as high.
When does the high come down? How long does it normally bear?
I mean, depending on what you use, right? Sometimes it's an hour to 3 hours. Sometimes if you're in that state, it can be in that state for longer, but typically we see within that hour to 3 hour range.
Should you, as a person on the outside, should you go approach them to help them in any way, or?
I mean, it depends on the discretion of the person, I feel like, and how safe you feel doing that. I think as a physician, I'd be more inclined to if I saw somebody like that on the street. That's just the nature of what we do. But a layperson like you going by, maybe like, what if they attack me?
Because I've seen some of them like walk onto the street.
Yeah.
Also happens, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that becomes an individual preference thing. I don't think we can say one way or the other. But if you're trying to save somebody's life, then yeah.
It's just fall behind the wall.
That would be a safer thing to do, yeah.
Yeah. Good job, Douglas.
Yeah, no, I think it's mostly meth addiction, meth and opiates again, so we come back to that. But that's just sad reality, I think, of what addiction, substance use is doing to the world, right?
Yeah, the ZombieLand, right? That's what it's starting to look like over there, so...
Yeah, we'll look up the other 2 cities and see what they are.
Yeah. Otherwise, any closing remarks? No, good. Make sure you guys keep hitting that subscribe button. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one. Peace.